Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. When I was serving my church at the beach, one very early morning, we decided that we needed to evacuate in the face of an oncoming hurricane. We had a homebound person that we needed to take with us, so I headed out into the 3 a.m. darkness, wind, and rain to go get her while Nan packed our things. Out on the road, with the storm approaching and no one else out except the National Guard and me, it was frightening. But I remember the sense of calm and comfort that came over me as I passed one of my neighboring churches and could see the light of their sanctuary lamp indicating the continual presence of God shining through the window, even in the face of the storm, especially in the face of the storm. As we continue our tour of the Tabernacle, ancient Israel's place of worship and the forerunner to their temple and even our church sanctuaries today, we come now to two other features in the first room of the tent of the Tabernacle, the lampstand and the altar of incense. Just a quick reminder, the actual tent had two sections, the holy place where these things were, and then the Holy of Holies, or holiest place, where the Ark of the Covenant resided and where the mercy seat was. We will talk about those two tomorrow. The lampstand is also known as a menorah, and that might be familiar to you as a common symbol of the Jewish religion. The lampstand served an important role in the tent of the tabernacle. Without it, there would not have been light in the tabernacle, and the priests would not have been able to see anything. So one of the functions was simply to provide light inside the tabernacle. When you entered the holy place, the table of showbread was on the right, and the lampstand was on the left, and it was hammered out of one piece of gold. No specific size is mentioned in the Bible, but the amount of gold needed might have limited it somewhat. If you've seen modern menorahs, then you have an idea of what this golden lampstand looked like. There was a central branch going straight up, and then 3 branches come out of it on each side to make 7 places for olive oil and a wick, making a lamp. The whole thing was designed to look like a branch from an almond tree with buds, blossoms, and flowers. The priests were instructed to keep the lamps burning continually. It's not too hard to connect this image to the light I saw on that stormy night or to our own sanctuary lamp in our own church. The light burns continually and is a reminder to us that God is always with us no matter what. Jesus Christ is the light of the world, and no darkness can overcome it. The last feature in the holy place, or first room of the tent of the tabernacle, was the altar of incense. Now, as Lutherans, we don't typically use a whole lot of incense in worship. On occasion, I have been to some very high liturgical services that did use some incense, and we jokingly describe services like that as having smells and bells. Nevertheless, incense was an important method of worship in ancient Israel. This altar was smaller, made of gold, and stood just before the entrance to the Holy of Holies. The general idea was that as the pleasant aroma ascended, it would be pleasing to God, and it would also carry our prayers with it. The priests were to keep incense burning on the altar continuously. Interestingly, there was a special formula for the spices that were to be used, and it was strictly forbidden to use that recipe of spices outside of the tabernacle. If you did, you would be cut off and exiled away from your people. So the lampstand and the altar of incense are important fixtures inside the holy place. One gave light, and one carried our prayers to God. Both express the comfort and care of God's continual presence. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.